What is up, Chop Shop Gang? In this video, I am joined by my main man, Space Ghost, and we talk about our experience of the Rockets game versus the Warriors. We were live and direct in Toyota Center. Exciting game, man. I ain't gonna lie, but y'all check out our conversation. I also do a breakdown of some of the plays that I thought were interesting from the game and give you some big picture stuff after that. Tap in, enjoy. The Rockets Chop Shop is your one-stop shop for all your basketball needs, for highlights, analysis, podcasts. We do it all here at the Rockets Chop Shop. Make sure you hit the like button on the videos that you watch if you enjoy them. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications from all the great drops that we have on the channel. Also, you can visit the Chop Shop merch store and get you some of the swaggiest gear in the Houston Rockets kingdom. And if you want, you can always support the channel directly through donations. And if you want, you can support us through our partnerships with our sponsors. The Rockets Chop Shop is made by fans, for fans, and we're going to keep rocking and keep dropping that heat.
This is something I know.
What is up, CSGs? Welcome to another episode of the Rockets Chop Shop Pod. I got the boss himself, Space Ghost, fresh off the Golden State Warriors versus Houston Rockets, where we actually got to meet. So we're not pen pals anymore.
Right.
For the CSG members, we actually got to meet with a bunch of the people, and it was real cool, man. What was your overall experience at the game, just overall?
I'd never been to a home opener. Like, this is my first home opener.
Okay, this is my second. Okay.
So it was good. I love the vibes. A little bit too many Warrior fans for my liking. Houston Rockets fans, if y'all seeing this, man, we need to pack Toyota Center, man. We need to buy them tickets up quick so we won't have
that was embarrassing.
50-50.
Bro, when Steph would hit shots, I thought we was in San Francisco.
Yeah, we was in the Bay Area, bro. Like, I know we're a struggling team. We upcoming, man, but we need to go support these guys for real. We need to support these guys, because it seems like they playing on the road every game.
Facts.
If they know they got that home cooking, when they come out, we might give them a little extra juice. And I was screaming. My family was screaming. We was trying to make as much noise, trying to drown out the Warriors fans that was around us. I was literally surrounded by Warriors fans.
Same. And it was crazy to see. Like, if y'all were there at the game, it was half and half. Damn near 50% split. And the weird thing was I would see families split. Like, it'd be a wife and a husband. One got a Golden State jersey on, one got a Rockets jersey on. The kid got a... I'm like, we got to do better, man. I know Golden State has a big fan base, kind of like the Cowboys, where they travel or go wherever they at. But nah, for a home opener, it was crazy because my son, he's getting into basketball now. And he was like really confused why the crowd was cheering so much for when bad things happen to us. So
my son, he actually like Steph Curry. I don't know why his favorite player is Jason Tatum. His favorite player is Jason Tatum. So he wanted me to go to a Celtics game. I think that's on January 22nd or 21st. So I might go back then just so he can see, Jason Tatum. But as far as meeting the CSG, the Chop Shop, man, I felt the love, man. Like, I really enjoyed myself. Me and my family, we got there early, so we participated in all the little event outside. I won a bobblehead right here. Won my boy Jabari bobblehead answering questions. My kids, they won some little balls and souvenirs and stuff like that, and we got shirts. I wasn't expecting to get a shirt.
Y'all caught a shirt?
Y'all didn't get shirts? You didn't get a shirt?
Nah. From where, entrance?
Yeah, at the entrance.
It must have been like first, like 1,000 or 2,000. Tillman ain't about to give everybody a shirt.
I know. For real, I thought they was just giving them out.
Nah, I didn't get one. Dang.
Yeah, everybody got a shirt. I guess because I got there early, I got a shirt. My whole family got a shirt, and it was just good vibes, man. I could see the culture starting to change. It's really starting to change, man, and we had a great experience as a family. It's a good thing. It's a good atmosphere if you're a family and you want to take your family out to do something. And my family enjoyed themselves. Even my wife was screaming and everything, and she's just not the biggest basketball fan, but
Right.
she was into it. Like it was a vibe, man. It was a vibe, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Yeah, and this was my first time watching Golden State, like play in person. I've been to
Me
home
too.
openers. The last
Me too.
home opener I went to was when we signed Russ. I think we played Milwaukee, and I was at
Mm-hmm.
that game where I watched another a mutant type of player, Giannis, come and just take over in the fourth, and get into the basketball ball part of this. Um, the game was probably one of the most intense Rockets games that I've been at since James Harden was a Rocket. And to me, that kind of leads off to what I want to talk about is that obviously we lost, and later on in this podcast, I'm going to kind of break down, look at some of the stuff that we did, but I've never seen the young guys this locked in. Jalen, Jabari, the Sengun. I mean, the stuff that Steph was doing, taking over, because it took a Steph game to beat us. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I want people to realize in the past with these other Rockets teams over the last 3 years, he didn't have to go to that level.
Right.
You feel me? So he didn't have to go to that Steph level that we all are accustomed to seeing when we were a playoff team. It took Steph to get there to beat us. And to me, I know it sounds stupid. That should tell y'all something that it's different. It's not like they're just going to beat us with their schemes and just outcoach us or just run off screens and just get a bunch of open threes. Like we forced the issue and Steph had to take it there to, show you why he's the best shooter in the world. And, you just got to tip your cap to a performance like that.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, man, he's been cooking the first 3 games. Three
Yeah.
games. He dropped 41 the other day. And what do you have, like 25, 27
Yeah.
this game? It wasn't like he was just cooking us the whole
24.
game. Yeah, he had 24. It's not like
24.
he really had, for Steph's standards, he had a pedestrian type game.
He was a -2, bro.
Yeah, he had a pedestrian type game. And I know everybody's looking at the Dylan Brooks play, and when he was, Steph wild grabbing his little Macaulay Culkin face and doing all that, but Dylan Brooks was guarding him pretty good,
Yeah.
and he made it tough on him all the way into that spurt in the fourth quarter. Even a few of those shots, they was contested, but that's Steph. He's
That's
gonna hit
Steph.
those shots, But I'm really, I feel more. How can I put this? Because I don't want to seem like a homer, but I'm a little bit
Bro,
more.
there's nobody that's watched our podcast know y'all can't call us homers.
Right.
In fact, we've been called too negative. So
Yeah.
when we start getting positive, y'all know something real happening.
Yeah.
Like we ain't led y'all wrong yet. So
Yeah.
you ain't no homer. Go ahead,
Fact.
man.
I'm a little bit more confident in this group, seeing the progression from game 1 to game 2 to game 3. Our defense is starting to find its identity. We still give up some easy buckets at times, but for the most part, you see the switching is starting to come together. You see Alp in his hedging and fronting and coming out on the screeners. It's like he knows where to be now. Like
Dude.
he actually made it tough on Steph a couple of times.
Space, let's stop right there. Let me ask you this. If I told you who was the worst matchup in the NBA for a center like Alperen Sengun, who would you say?
Golden State, hands down.
And this alone, bro, think about this. Alperen Sengun played the full game and
Right.
closed out.
Yeah.
Like he closed the game in the fourth quarter
He
against
didn't
the
have to
Warriors
go to the
trying to win.
bench. Usually,
Never had to.
usually he have to get he'll have to go to the bench, and we'll have to get a more agile or more perimeter type player to play center, like Jabari or somebody would have to sub for him. And Alp defense is kudos to me, man. Like I really he's passing my expectations early than what I thought he would have to get
Same.
to. He's almost there, bro. Like he's really almost there. He got a couple of things to work on, but he's almost there as far as defensive wise. Alp's been our best player these last 3 games.
Facts. It's crazy.
And it's on both ends. It's on
It is
both ends.
crazy.
Yeah.
It is to like y'all had to, like, the effort that all of them, Jalen, Jabari, Alperen, are putting out. Like, yeah, Jabari, he's been playing bad. Jalen has not been like super like what we expect. But you can't you can fix a lot of stuff. What you can't fix is attitude and effort. And I can't say that for this entire time Ime Udoka's been our coach that any of our young guys have looked like it's about me. All I see is guys trying to play team ball. They get beat. You know the talent's there. I think at this point, what we're trying to gauge is Jalen going to be a star or is he going to be a role player? Is Jabari going to be a star or a role player? But as far as NBA players that can contribute to winning, I think they got the right attitude to do that. And I mean, I was impressed just with their effort. I think being in person, you get to see it a little bit because you get to see the interactions on the sidelines too and their mannerisms, how they interact with the coach. Another thing I noticed, bro, I don't know if you noticed, as I tweeted this, Coach Sullivan is damn near just as active as Ime Udoka. It's like they are co-head coaches.
Yes. Yes.
Like he talk off the bench, he making calls. They're almost like remind me of a football sideline.
Right.
Where you got the offensive coordinator moving their hands and calling in signals, and and the head coach calling. It was very interesting to see that dynamic. What did you think about that?
Because something I noticed, I actually recorded it and I posted it on Twitter. He had a coaches meeting on the sideline, like him, Ben Sullivan, and the other two coaches. The team was talking, doing their thing, during the timeout. He got them together, and they started going over, and I could see them actively talking to each other, like, "What we gonna do?" You know. And they all get input. That's what make a good coach, bro. Because you don't know your blind spots, until you get it from somebody else's perspective. And he's leaning on Ben Sullivan and those other guys to say, "Hey, coach, maybe we can do this, do this." And you can tell he's being receptive to it and he's putting it in play. Like this was sort of a chess match type of game.
Facts.
Because that run we came back, bro. We came back on. We would have got blown out by 30 again in previous seasons, but the fact that we came back and took the lead, midway through the third quarter, almost into the third quarter, that's something to be, proud of. It's something that you can build on because they are seeing stuff in real times and they're making the adjustments in real time. And if this keeps up, bro, I think all we need is chemistry, just figuring out chemistry. Our offense has been subpar, but as long as we playing good defense, and our defense is worlds better than what they been the previous seasons, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right team, and this is nothing to hold your head over. No, we're not saying more victories, but we can see the incremental growth that this team is going through. Now, if you look at a team like Memphis, they're 0-3 too. Blazers, they're 0-3 too. The Lakers, they're 1-2. The Warriors was a couple of minutes from being 1-2.
1-2, yep.
And having the same record as we got if we would beat them. And then if we hit some free throws, we beat San Antonio Spurs.
That game went to overtime. Yeah, like it's
the only stinker game we really had was Magic, bro.
Yep.
And that was the first game of the season.
You got to really look at it. And I think that's where what I'm assuming is that it's like a buildup from the last 3 years and people are just sick and tired of being sick and tired of losing.
Right.
And so it's a lot of overreactions. And I'm not saying this team, it may not work and they just suck and it's just bad. But to me, it's easier to add players that can help you win and than to see actual development from players that you have, especially young ones. And to me, what's most encouraging is in the past, and I've said this damn near every video I made, when we won in the past against teams like the Warriors or Denver, it took stupid efforts. Like what I mean stupid, like something crazy happened. Like, KPJ dropped a 40-point triple-double. Yeah. We shot 80% from three. It was like some anomaly for us to win. The games we're playing right now, they're ugly. We're always in position to win. And, that comes, like you said, with chemistry and guys like just getting better and just playing better and but learning each other as well. But the way we're winning is the way good teams win, which is you're winning with your system. You're winning with sound fundamental basketball, and you're just winning by playing the right way. Or we're not winning right now, but they're playing and they're in these games doing things that I can do on an every night basis. Bro, we shot 20, let me see, we shot 27% from three.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not going to get it. If you want to know why you losing, let me read off some stats, bro, real quick. We shot 27% from three. The Warriors outscored their bench, about 20 points. Our bench was a minus 50. The Warriors bench was a plus 56. That's it right there. Our starters were better than their starters. We beat them in the starting five.
Right.
Look at our plus minuses. +2 for Dylan Brooks, +12 for Jabari. Sengun was a -10. And I'll tell y'all why, because I know people are going to go off on that. Jalen was a +4, and Fred was a -13. The reason Alp and Fred were in the minuses because Coach Udoka tried to balance out the bad bench by having one of them on the court with them at all times. The reason Jabari is such a high plus-minus, he stayed with the starters. They didn't put Jabari with the bench unit because they know he struggled. So when it was like Amen and Tate and them boys out there, guess who was on the court with them as they stunk it up? One of either Fred or Amen, because those are the two guys. I mean, Fred or Sengun, because those are the two players Coach Udoka trusts. So they staggering. It's always going to be one of Fred, Jalen, and Sengun on the court at all times. That's what I'm noticing he's doing because that's the only way we have offense. So when you see those plus minuses for the starters, the guys that are out there with the second units trying to keep them afloat, like, let me see who had the worst. Jeff Green was a -24. You know what I mean? Tate -15. Bullock -11. And he damn near played with the starters. Man Thompson, he ended the game -13. And let me see. Let me make sure that's right. Because I think a man ended with a man was a +2. Fred VanVleet, I already said it was a -13. So it's the bench, it's the 3-point shooting, it's the roster that's losing these games. The roster is losing these games, and that's on Rafael Stone. So if you guys want to be mad at anybody, don't be, we should have kept Silas, we need James Harden. It's on the team construction, and that's on the general manager.
Fact.
You feel me? He looked at this roster and said, we going to win with this. And I'm like, how?
Yeah. One minor criticism I would have of Udoka is when Fred is playing this bad, because Fred had a bad game.
He had a bad game. He said himself. He said he played like ish. Yeah.
He had a bad game. And our man, he kind of changed the landscape of the game when he came in. He was doing all some great stuff. I'm anticipating Udoka would have more faith in our man once he feel like he can handle the ball correctly more, because I think he's kind of loose with the ball right now. But even then, he came and he did some good stuff. He did some good stuff, and I think he should have played just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Not he didn't need 15, 20 minutes more. Just maybe another 5 to 8 minutes.
He played 19 minutes. Yeah, probably want that in the mid-20s.
20, 24, somewhere up in there, 25 minutes. And I think that could have helped us. Our man's jumper is looking better and better every game. He got a little mid-range.
Yeah, you seen it, huh?
Yeah. The last 2-3 games, he's been taking that mid-range shot. And his 3-point shot don't look broken.
He had that one air ball.
Yeah, he had an air ball, but I think
what's crazy? There's so many Warriors fans in the game that at a home game you could hear the air ball. I was like, damn, that's messed up. You can't even shoot an air ball at the house, bro. Like, damn.
Yeah, but I'm encouraged with what I'm seeing from man, for real. I'm really
I think the most impressive thing about that kid is his defense. That man had Chris Paul in hell.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, you know how many times Chris Paul picked up his dribble when the man Thompson was guarding him, bro? Like every damn time. Like he had Chris Paul locked down, and him and his brother. I know people like try to compare Amen and Asar. I think they're both damn near like the same player, just with a little heightened skill. Asar, a better defender, more leaning towards that, and Amen is more like of the facilitator. But they're both great defenders and both hella good rebounders. You know what I mean? Both have kind of weak handles right now. But Amen Thompson, I think the reason Coach Udoka trusts him is because of his defense. And I think the first game he played like 12 minutes. He's up to 19. I think to your point, as the trust is there more, if you can play against Golden State, in my opinion, if you can be on the court on the Warriors and be a plus, you can play any team in this league.
Right.
Because the mental games they play with you with that gravity with Steph and Clay, like, and when I do the film breakdown, y'all will see like they are just a beast, and I respect the hell out of the Warriors. Like, I know we got beef with them and all that as a fan base, but that is like what they do is what we're trying to get to. And one day I hope that we will get to the point where we put that much pressure on teams and we're that sound and that just dominant that you have to just, no matter where you go on the court, you got to be on your P's and Q's with us, because that's what they do to teams. And for our young guys to be switching, rotating, the communication, they was talking. Alperen was like, it was impressive, man. I don't, win or lose. I'm like, I was proud of the performance they put up, because I could, if they play the Warriors 5 times, I wouldn't be surprised if we beat them 2 out of those 5. Yeah. That's how good I think we play.
Yeah. Because the Warriors system have so many variations to look the same, but they do, little wrinkles to where they can easily have you fooled and get you back cutted and thinking,
here we go again. Then
it's not the same. It looks the same, but it's not the same. They gonna back cut you on one, and then you got to follow Steph everywhere. He's constantly moving around, coming off of double drag screens and the horns actions and dribble handoff. You don't know which one is gonna be which. So to hold them to 5 points?
105, I think. 106, I think.
106?
I think it was 106.
Yeah.
It might 105, 106, yeah.
Yeah, to hold them to that and hold Steph Curry under 30 points, under 25 points. That's something that you can take to the locker room, regroup, and be like, we're not going to see this level of shooting every night. We're not going to see this level of offense every night. The variations and everything we had to encounter, and we stood up and we actually took the lead when it was time to actually ball. Aside from Fred VanVleet having a bad game, if he just was a normal Fred VanVleet, we win this game.
Yeah.
We win this game. It's just, it is what it is. And Steph barrage that he did, I'm encouraged because we fixed the free throws.
94%.
We was good on free throws.
Yeah.
We didn't get out-rebounded. We didn't get pummeled in transition, offense or defense. So it's some things you can take away from this game and be like you said, it's scalable. We can build off of these things. It's not fun being 0-3, but if you have a big picture in mind and you don't want instant gratification, just because we're the Rockets, you think we should be winning and we got this, we got that. The chemistry is going to come. And I can still see us being a play-in team, even if we just because we 0-3. I don't think we don't lose that in 3 games. No, having nobody won a championship yet in 3 games. I've been preaching this on my live stream. Just have patience. These kids are growing, and they're not doing it with lack of effort. The body language don't look bad, so it's something to be encouraged about with our team.
Facts. And on that note, we're going to close out this segment. I want you guys to check out the film breakdown that's coming up next, and just to see kind of what the Rockets did well and what the Warriors kind of got us with. But y'all check that out next. Okay, so we're going to pick up the game at this point where Steph Curry comes in. Just know he has 10 points, 7 minutes left, 7:34 left in the fourth quarter. 5 assists, only 2 of 7 from 3. He finished the game with 24 points. So obviously he's about to go in Steph mode and kind of go crazy here. But I just want you guys to see why we lost and some of the things that I am just really, really happy and proud of for these guys, because if you watch the Warriors broadcast, they kind of mention it. A lot of the things that we did last year, we were just out there just shooting getting hot, and you might get lucky and catch a window on that. But they were very complimentary of how our guys were playing and the difference they saw, and I want you guys to notice the same thing too. So let's get into it. So our first set, they go little horns action here with Sengun and Tate, which it's not great. So this is a roster issue. When you run horns, usually the two players that are going to be standing opposing from each other. One of them, at least you want it to be. Ideally, you want them to be able to pop out and shoot a three. The other one, you want to be a roll man. In this horn situation, there's no way that the Warriors are going to respect Jayshawn Tate as the pop out because he's not a roll man. So, just things that you have to look out for. So get the entry pass to him, and it just turns into a weak side screen with Sengun and Jalen Green here, where Jalen comes off of that screen there, entry pass, little motion action there. Sengun's rolling to an empty corner. Jalen should take a couple steps and deliver this pass right now. Sengun got to finish that, and that was a beautiful play. You just got to finish that with authority or get fouled. When they're playing with Steph, they run a lot of motion, they run triangle, they run split action. When Chris Paul is on there, they're running dribble handoffs and pick and rolls. So they literally have like 5 offenses in one. And so you preparing for them is just so hard because it puts so much mental strain on you. And for us to keep up with them until Steph had to go to a new level, to me, it speaks volumes because in previous years, we would have got the dog, beat out of us in this game, just the way they were playing. Okay, so they get the entry pass here. Good strip by Tate. Just watch this. Tate was a dog in this game. Had a great strip there. Just a dog. He just played the right way, man. I'm enjoying watching him play on a team that's trying to win. Warriors win the tip. Go into a scramble situation. Now watch this play from Alperen Sengun. Last year he would have stood there and watched this happen, but knowing that Ime Udoka is going to yell at you if you don't contest on this, look at the effort here to haul ass, get across, and get a contest on a great shooter. That shot still almost went in, but you'll take that. That's all you asked for. And then Jalen come down in transition, hits the and one, man. The arena erupted when this happened, bro. This was so lit to watch on the sidelines. The energy in the building was palpable. And when you get visions of this, like just that little moment, can you imagine like in the playoff setting where these guys are making these plays? And for them, this is damn near the playoff setting. Maybe for the Warriors, just a game on a Sunday night in Houston where they're just like, okay, this game 3 of 82. But for these young guys, these are the experiences that you want them to be able to feel, the tension and the stress of having to guard these great players, and knowing that every mistake you make will cost you, knowing that you're accountable for how you play and the effort you put in. And that's really what you want to see from these guys. And the guys were showing it. So the Rockets take the lead 87-85. Great play by Jalen Green, man. Just a tough play. He just needs more of these. He needs to be this aggressive all the time, even when his shot from 3 isn't dropping. But that was a great play. Strong action there with Clay. And they were killing Alperen Sengun on this earlier in the game, where they would set that off-ball screen, and he would stay under because he just let Fred VanVleet and Dylan fight over the screen. But as he's learning, he kind of figured out that if it's one of these light-skinned brothers that is shooting the ball, you have to step up and basically trap them. And even though the contest, that's a late contest on Clay. That's a late contest. I seen Clint Capella get cooked on late contests like that, and that drove Mike D'Antoni to almost have a stroke mid-game. But yeah, he just has to learn to be up. I've seen Al Horford suffer from the same issue. It's not natural for these big guys to really play that far up. But Alperen did a great job, I think. Even though he had a couple of busted coverages, he did a great job, man, to stay on the court. I know we didn't have really much choice because he's such a big part of our offense, like the main part of our offense. So Coach Udoka had no choice but to play him. So, hey, if you can't beat him, join him. Just make him a good defender. And I think that's what they're doing. And leads to a transition pull up here, and Fred's shot just rims out. Now, Fred played bad, but he played good to me. The screen navigation was excellent. His defense was excellent. It's just that his shots weren't falling, and I think he holds himself to a high standard. And and I think he played a decent game. offensively, he should bring a lot more to the table, more diversity in his approach, and he said that himself. But defensively, I think he was a key reason. Him and Dylan Brooks really cover a lot for Alperen Sengun as far as allowing him to use his body, because they anchor him on the screens, and he's able to just use his body as a weapon on that, just being in position and using his IQ. This is all you want to ask for. So the Warriors have this thing where they try to attack the opposing big with Looney and Steph. So you get the entry pass here. Usually those bigs, that little space that Alperen is giving Jalen to navigate the screen, and you never go under on Steph Curry, but Jalen does a great job of being scrappy and getting over the screen. So that's stuff you wouldn't see last year. That's growth. And then Alperen Sengun, as soon as he sees Steph repositioning and rescreening back, he's up at the level, right? Arms wide, putting his body on them. Once Steph dribbles in, you've won. As a big man, you won. You've won. You've done your job. Now it's on the defense. And this is where the Rockets, what I mean by chemistry and time, this is where they need to improve on, is once you've created this situation, do you have enough chemistry and IQ to rotate and fill the gaps? And that's what they need to work on. Obviously, Dylan Brooks is being, even though he's boxing out, he's being down screened by Draymond low-key. Steph sees that, and he's able to get a pass to Wiggins, who's not accounted for since Jayshawn Tate had to come in and help Alpe's drive. Now everybody should just scramble and get on your match. Jayshawn tries to contest. Wiggins just missed an open floater, but gets fouled. But that's the next level that you got to take to beat the team like the Warriors when they get into, because you can stop their initial action, but it's really the secondary stuff that kills you, because they know how to cut and they know how to play good team ball. You get a screen, Alp is at the 3-point line. Good positioning, should be up a little higher. And Dylan Brooks chooses to switch this. Alperen has to be right on Steph's grill, which he is, and they kind of lay trap him. Steph makes the right play, kicks it over to Looney, and he goes into a short roll, and Draymond crashes down, gets the layup and foul. So once again, we're stopping the initial action, but it's just the secondary stuff. We haven't reached that level of defense where you could trap Steph and then rotate on the backside. And usually when you're guarding Steph, your best defender is on him. Then Alperen Sengun is one of our best defenders. I know they kept Tate in there during this run to be that back end help, because you're really going to need help on that back end. That's really where the Warriors are devastating as well, because they can all pass and leads to an and one. That was an unnecessary foul by Alp there. Now in this position, yeah, you can't let this happen. Tate loses him, loses Steph. You get Draymond here posting up. This is a little split action, but from kind of the sideline, and Steph coming off of that baseline run, and Alperen is trying to contest from behind the screen. This is no bueno. You can't stop there. That's bad positioning. He's looking at Dylan like, you gonna come up, bro? And they're just staring, and Dylan is thinking Alperen is gonna come up on him. So that's just miscommunication and dagger. And from this point on is really where Steph kind of goes crazy. Yeah, you can tell he's on it at this point. Dylan guarding Steph. They're going to go into a little screen action, a little guard on guard, so takes now it's Jalen Green guarding Steph, which to me is troubling. Whenever I see Jabari and Sengun next to each other, or Jalen and Sengun, I get a little worried. But let's see how they guard it. Screen from Looney now, so Alperen has to switch onto this. Jalen is in no man's land right now. He has to either commit to the trap or roll with Looney. He comes on a late trap, so they scramble. Look at Alperen haul ass, get back to his assignment, re-screen with Draymond. Tate comes up, and too late. That was a good defensive play. What do you do with that? That's how they kill you. You stop the action, they get you on the other side. This is a 5-point game at this point. 5-point game. So once again, this is Steps, man. They're doing their jobs and forcing Steph to hit tough shots. That was, that's the shot that Fred VanVleet needs to hit. That would have got the game down to a 2-point game. That's the difference between having a guy you can go to down the stretch and not. And once again, Steph just doing what Steph does. Tate is being aggressive on him. Alp steps out, does his job. But, that's Steph Curry, buckets. You can't, what can you do? He had to go to that level. And this is, he's starting to cook now. There's really nothing much you can do for that if you're Alperen Sengun. I would have asked Tate to trap him and force him to pass the ball. But that's what Steph Curry does. High screen and roll with Steph. Fakes like he's about to use a screen, goes behind the back. Dylan recovers. Great defense here. Kills him with the crossover. That's the AI. High crossover. Carries. He carries the ball there, but then fakes it and just hits a tough shot. I ain't gonna lie. When I saw this in the yeah, you just have to. that was cold. That was cold. Yeah, 189. The Rockets just couldn't stop this dude, bro. We just couldn't stop this dude from getting into his bag, and that's just what Steph Curry does. That's the type of player he is, and for me to see this in real time, it just it was just something that you had to you just have to be there to see it. So 7-point game now. How are they going to respond? I love what they're doing. They ran this play a couple of times where you would see here, Fred would come and set a back screen for Jabari's man to get a switch out. Only problem is that the Warriors are not worried about Jabari Smith posting up Draymond Green. That does nothing. There's no gravity there. So, and then you get Fred coming off a down screen from Sengun, curls around to the three. Chris Paul does a great job running him off the three-point line, which Fred said they were doing. You get the entry pass to Sengun, re-screen on Chris Paul. No real contact there. Chris Paul just goes under. And now you have a situation where Fred is pretty much trapped in the corner. The logical thing would be to pass it to Alperen. He goes and tries that. See, stuff like that is what I don't like. Like, pass it to the open man. So what I saw from this game is a lot of growth, because a lot of the issues that the Rockets have had in the past facing the Warriors were brought to bear in this game. That's why, the year that we actually played them very well, the team that we had to do it was filled with a lot of veterans that were high defensive IQ, because once you stop them, whether you're trapping them or switching it, it doesn't stop, because they're always rescreening on the back end. And it was something that I haven't seen from the Rockets, especially with Alperen Sengun out on the court, right? They were able to stop the initial action and force the Warriors to have to go to a next level in their secondary playmaking and all the stuff that makes them champions in order to beat us. This is growth. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but this is the growth that you want to see. I'm going to read off some of the stats from the game for you guys, just to let you know that, the team is improving. We're not as bad as people want to make it seem. The team is improving. So just reading off some stats, the Rockets shot 27% from three. That's not going to cut it. That is not it. The Warriors shot a 40% from three, which is 12%, almost 13% more than we did. That's not going to do it. Like I said earlier, our bench was outscored in this game by 20 points. Our bench, they just didn't really do enough to help us win the game. Our bench was a minus 50 during this game to Golden State's plus 56 for their bench. Our bench shot 12% from three in this game. Our bench shot 30% from the field in this game. That's not going to do it. Our starters beat the Warriors starters. And our starting five is pretty damn good on defense, that is. And that's really where we've been seeing the trends for the Rockets go up, is on the defensive side of the ball. And if you guys would really just slow down and just think about what the team is doing. Let me go to my cleaning the glass screen. I'm going to pull that up. And usually I like to have the graphics for the stats, but I'm kind of trying to do multiple things at once here. Currently in the 3 games, the Rockets starting five with Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun are plus 14.4. That means when our starting five is on the floor, we're beating teams by 14 points. And this is all 3 games. So what is the issue is in that bench. The issue is in the bench. The bench lineups are just getting killed. And that's really what it comes down to for us right now, is trying to win those bench minutes. And right now we're not doing that. The Rockets have a top third defense. We're in the 67th percentile in points per possession in the NBA as far as defensively, holding teams to 98.2 points per game, under 100. You're doing that. Any team right now that has some semblance of a bench would be 3-0, or at least 2-1. But even in the Orlando game, our bench won their minutes. So the problem is the roster construction, and it kind of feeds into some of the second stuff, which is the shooting. We don't have no shooting on the team. And even though we're making it work with playing elite defense on our starting five, there's just not enough offense for it to make up the difference. So the great thing is we're seeing internal development from our players, which is the hardest thing to do. And you can add players. You can always add bench players. You can add shooting. You can add rebounding and other things that we're having issues with. What you cannot add is when you see Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Sengun playing Golden State Warriors on the court in a close game and doing what they're supposed to do. What you cannot add is Jalen having some mental fortitude and coming out on aggressive on a night after a game where he played not as great as he wanted to, or Jalen playing decent defense. What you cannot have is Jabari, even though he didn't have a great game, on the next game, he came out and was aggressive. He made some mistakes, but he was aggressive, and then let him missing free throws from the Spurs game or missing shots affect his intensity. What you cannot account for is Sengun being a good defender in year 3 and taking this leap and averaging 19, 10, and 6, or whatever his average is right now. This is what you should be excited about. The 0-3 starts, the 0-3 start is going to be tough. And just watching this game, we're going to beat some of the good teams. So don't look at the record and just say, oh, it's going to be bad. That's last year's thinking. Just by playing hard on a night-to-night basis, you're going to always put yourself in position to win these games. What the Rockets have to do is be able to kick the door down and just go get it. And I'm still waiting on that game where we go and take it from a team rather than just kind of hoping that we win. We're going to need more from Thompson. He played great. We're going to need more from him. We're going to need more from Jeff Green. When Tari Eason comes back, that's going to be huge from us. We're going to need Reggie Bullock to not be a corpse of himself and literally be the worst player on the team. We just need more. We need more from Coach Udoka, knowing which buttons to push and which lineups work, and that's going to come with time. You'll notice he starts mitigating some of the bad lineups and having different combinations. We're going to need more from all our players, and we're going to need more from Rafael Stone. At the end of the day, this roster construction is his idea. This is a terrible roster. As far as like with the depth and the needs of it, we have great players on it, but the construction doesn't fit. And even if with Kevin Porter Jr., that definitely would help with the scoring off the bench. Even with Tari Eason back, there's still glaring holes on this roster. Shooting and the depth on the team is not great. So I think that with this, as time goes on, they'll have a better idea of specifically what they need. I think Stone needs to go out and make this happen. He can salvage this season by hoping that the development continues and that he can use some of these salaries of guys that we don't foresee being here in the long term, use that to get players that you can have in the next 3 to 4 years contribute to winning for you. But that's really what it's going to take. But overall, it was a great game. It was great seeing a lot of the Chop Shop members out there, getting stopped and taking pictures with y'all was really fun, and seeing Space and his family. And I brought my son out there. It was just a great atmosphere. Like he had said earlier, the culture is shifting. Y'all could be negative all y'all want. I love what I saw. If you have the mind and the eye for basketball, that game you saw yesterday, you could play that game 10 times and you're going to see different results just because they were playing so hard. So, those are my major takeaways from it. And I think that, we just got to take it game by game. You want to see incremental improvements. They shot 94% from the free throw line, incremental improvements. They beat us. I think the Warriors out-rebounded us by like 6 rebounds, but that's still incremental improvements. These are the things you want to see. We won the turnover battle. We only had 7 or 8 turnovers to their, I think they had 14 or 15. Incremental improvements. It's just game by game. So y'all hang in there, man. It's going to be a bumpy road. Give it till January. And the team that you see then will probably be what you're going to see for the rest of the year. But with that said, appreciate all y'all for rocking with the Chop Shop. If you're listening to the podcast at this point, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Keep rocking the Chop Shop. We're going to keep dropping that fire.